The Saints are ruining the NFL with Mickey Loomis dishonesty deals. Here's why. Mickey Loomis and the New Orleans Saints are pulling off highway robbery. The New Orleans Saints, under the leadership of General Manager Mickey Loomis, have long been known for their aggressive and unconventional approach to managing the NFL's salary cap. Their financial maneuvering has helped them remain competitive year after year, but it has also raised serious questions about fairness, sustainability, and the integrity of the league's salary cap system. Many believe the Saints are bending the rules to their advantage, creating a dangerous precedent that could eventually backfire not only on the team, but on the league as a whole. Each offseason, the Saints find themselves in what appears to be a dire salary cap situation, often tens of millions over the limit. Yet, through a complex web of contract restructures, pay cuts, and strategic signings, they manage to navigate these financial challenges with almost surgical precision. Their methods involve pushing cap hits into future years, offering contracts with low base salaries up front, and using void years to spread financial obligations over a longer period. This approach has allowed them to sign and retain top-tier talent while operating within the NFL's salary cap constraints, or so it seems. Recently, the Saints found themselves once again significantly over the cap, yet they miraculously freed up space through a series of calculated moves. They restructured the contracts of multiple star players, converting base salaries into signing bonuses to spread out cap hits. This allowed them to create just enough space to make key acquisitions in free agency and retain some of their core players. While this has kept them competitive, it's also created a financial time bomb. Eventually, the bill will come due, and when that happens, the Saints could find themselves in a dire rebuilding situation with massive amounts of dead cap space. One of the most controversial aspects of the Saints' strategy is their use of void years in contracts. A void year is essentially an accounting trick that allows a team to spread out cap hits for a player over several seasons, even if the player is no longer on the roster. This means they are constantly kicking financial burdens down the road, delaying inevitable salary cap issues in favor of short-term flexibility. Critics argue that this approach undermines the competitive balance the salary cap was designed to maintain. If other teams follow suit, the system could collapse under the weight of excessive deferred cap charges. Despite these financial gymnastics, the Saints remain active in free agency, consistently bringing in players who, on paper, they shouldn't be able to afford. This year alone, they have managed to re-sign key contributors, add talent to both sides of the ball, and even make trades to acquire much-needed reinforcements. These moves have left rival teams and fans alike questioning how the Saints continue to manipulate the salary cap so effectively without facing severe consequences. One of their biggest moves this offseason was re-signing defensive back Ugo Amadi. Known for his versatility in the secondary, Amadi has been a crucial depth piece for the Saints' defense. Despite their apparent cap constraints, they secured him on a one-year deal, further proving their ability to find ways to retain players without making significant financial sacrifices. Another key signing was offensive lineman Dillon Radunz. The Saints needed help on the offensive line, and they found it in Radunz, a player with starting experience and a strong collegiate pedigree. While his contract might appear modest at first glance, it's structured in a way that keeps his cap hit low in the early years while pushing more significant financial burdens into later seasons. In addition to free agent signings, the Saints pulled off a trade for defensive tackle Davon Godchaux, sending a future draft pick to acquire him. This move strengthens their defensive line, which had been an area of concern. Once again, the financial details of the trade reveal the Saints' ability to maneuver around the salary cap by deferring financial obligations. Perhaps their most significant move of the offseason was signing safety Justin Reid to a 3-year, $31.5 million contract. Reid, a Super Bowl-winning safety, adds experience and playmaking ability to the secondary. The deal was structured to minimize its immediate impact on the salary cap, while maximizing the Saints' ability to remain competitive in the short term. While these moves have kept the Saints in contention, their long-term implications remain a looming concern. By continuously restructuring contracts and deferring cap hits, the team risks financial inflexibility in the future. Dead money charges, cap space allocated to players no longer on the roster, are piling up, a sign that the Saints are operating on borrowed time. A prime example of this financial strategy backfiring is the case of guard Andrus Peat. Peat's contract was repeatedly restructured to free up cap space, but as a result, the Saints now owe millions in dead cap money for a player who has not consistently lived up to expectations. This type of financial mismanagement, if not kept in check, could eventually force the team into a full-scale rebuild. The Saints' aggressive approach has sparked debates across the league about the integrity of salary cap management. Some argue that Loomis and his team have simply found a loophole in the system, exploiting it to their advantage. Others believe the NFL should step in and enforce stricter regulations to prevent teams from kicking the financial can down the road indefinitely. While there's no denying that the Saints have mastered the art of salary cap manipulation, the question remains, how long can they sustain this strategy before it collapses? If they continue down this path, they could eventually face severe consequences, including salary cap purgatory, where they are unable to sign impact players or retain key talent due to overwhelming financial restrictions. Mickey Loomis and the New Orleans Saints have effectively turned the NFL's salary cap into a game of chess, executing moves that some view as sheer genius, while others see them as borderline dishonest. They have, in many ways, been pulling off what can only be described as highway robbery, keeping their roster stacked despite financial limitations. However, the long-term sustainability of this approach remains in question. At some point, the Saints will have to pay the price for years of financial maneuvering, and when that happens, the consequences could be severe. For now, they continue to find ways to outmaneuver the system, remaining competitive and proving that they can operate in ways that defy conventional financial wisdom. Whether this approach ultimately leads them to another Super Bowl or a complete collapse remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. The Saints are pushing the limits of what is possible under the NFL's current salary cap structure, and the rest of the league is watching closely.